Oh look, ranked season's back. Yay. Better get that straight jacket, the Xanax and the beta blockers out in preparation. Anyway, legends! I'm not Cerberus, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at my top 3 ships from each class at tier 4, and why I would pick them in preparation for the upcoming ranked Season 8, which runs from November 16th until December 14th. Starting off with everyone's favourite Crayon Muncher class, let's take a look at the Battleships first. Immediately my number one choice here is going to be a premium, and it's one of a handful of ships that in my opinion completely outclasses its stalemates, and that ship is Giulio Cesare. While you may not have access to an accuracy commander, meaning at times shells occasionally troll the life out of you, the shells themselves have solid penetration and good arcs, able to reliably deal as loads of pain to most of your unwilling victims. She comes with an excellent blend of characteristics including high speed, good rudder and turning circle, bouncy armor when angled, and the fastest rotating guns for her class as well as a respectable concealment. Use that speed and agility to get into position and angle shots against your belt before swinging the arse round for a full broadside and swinging it back again. If you time it right, you can get all 10 guns off against an opponent and then swing that booty back around again before they have a chance to retaliate. Time it wrong however and you'll be taking a one-way trip back to port in no time at all. As mentioned before, there's only one commander for this ship, and for me, I rocked De Revel with Cunningham and Kedrov as inspirations, Brawler, Crisscross, Emergency Specialist, Master Mechanic, and Will to Rebuild. Moving on to number 2, and that ship is Abso-bloody-lutely, which is one of the most protected ships in the game. When bow on, she is nigh on impossible to penetrate, thanks to her 75mm upper bow and 125mm icebreaker, which would laugh off even the toughest shells from Yamato. Coupled with hard-hitting guns, Abso-bloody-lutely can act as a roadblock when it hunkers down at a choke point. The 14-inch guns have fantastic close-range accuracy, high penetration and good turret traverse, as well as a pretty decent top speed, completing out this ship's solid set of specs. Just a word of warning though, HE can citadel your rear quarterdeck and your belt armor, while sufficient to bounce when angled, will be citadel to kingdom come if you present a full broadside. If you need to get all guns in target, as with Cesare, you'll need to time it right against the reload of your enemy. It's risky, but it's worth it if it goes right. And while I did say that when hunkering down at choke points is a solid tactic, don't just sit there and camp all match, move with the team and support. No one likes a camper. This ship plays best at close range, so for me the commander of choice is Kedrov with Cunningham, and if you have him, Henry Hyde, otherwise Makarov and Hipper would make alternative inspirations. Skills wise I am using Brawler, Crisscross, Volunteer, Master Mechanic and Will to Rebuild. Last but not least for the battleships, it's a toss-up between Kunish or Iron Duke. In my mind, the AP secondaries of Kunish and its solid armor scheme made this ship the number 3 choice for me. The playstyle of this ship is simple: make pushes against enemy with your teammates. You can do it all alone, but do be wary if there are destroyers in the vicinity. Get in close and then lay 10 bells of shit out of them with your secondaries and main guns. Contrary to popular belief though, getting in close doesn't mean getting to point blank range and YOLOing the game. Use your common sense and be aware of your surroundings, angle your ship and use cover to protect your flanks. Slight rant alert, these latter points apply to all battleships really. Just because you have the gun range doesn't mean camping at the back of the map will win you the game. Take risks but be smart, push but don't YOLO, and don't be selfish. Ranked is about the team, not you. And as a battleship, you're the centerpiece of that team. Getting back to Kunish though, for your commander I personally rock Henry Hyde with Flammable Cannoneer, Porcupine, Marksmanship and Master Mechanic. I haven't selected a legendary for him, but unless you have the 2 extra heal charges for Master Mechanic, running in with Scissors will be your best option if you have selected a legendary previously. For inspirations, Andrew Cunningham and Von Hipper. Don't have Hyde? Then auto-select with Hipper and Cunningham with Brawler, Porcupine, Emergency Specialist, Master Mechanic and Will to Rebuild will suffice. Battleships done, it's time to check on the ranked easy mode ships and fun police, the destroyers. Those I have played in previous seasons will be fairly familiar with seeing these little bastards regularly at the top of the team, so let's take a look at the ones to watch out for this time around. When it comes to protecting your teammates, there is only one choice, and that is the trusty Farragut with a twist and track commander. While its torpedoes may be a bit poo, the Farragut makes up for it with its ability to hunt down and piss on the parade of pretty much every other destroyer, especially the poor folks that think Kamikaze is a good choice. Its quick firing guns and decent speed means you can keep up and terrorise its classmates, and then when it's done, a long smoke screen means you can tie off the fire button, go make a cup of tea, and then let loose with a rain of HE on battleships. While those torpedoes may only just be for show, if you can get them off, do so, because it can cause players to panic and do some stupid stuff. And if you catch a broadside cruiser at close range, load that AP and find those citadels. From the standard commanders, Halsey with Bay and Sims for your inspirations, Obstinate Rage, Look at Me Now, Twist and Track, Smoke on the Water and Unstoppable should be your default pick. If you have picked up Vincent Model from this Halloween event though, same inspirations and same setup as before, but plonk on his special skills Sheltered Arms. If you're a bit of a masochist and think smoke screens are for ladies, you could always take out one of the hate beget launchers. Jaguar is a particularly nasty one. With almost 18,000 hit points when using high level sims as inspiration, a bunch of 430 guns and 2 triple torpedo launchers that knock 7 bells of shit with 18,400 damage, the Jaguar will make short work of most things it comes across, which is a good thing because no smoke screens mean that you'll need to rely on a good old situational awareness, your engine boost and dodging to survive. Recommended commander? Well, it'll be Fournier with Sims and Bay, and skills being Contact is Imminent, Look at Me Now, Stand or Fall, Sidestep and Unstoppable. For number 3, we're kind of cheating a bit, as it depends on whether you have Abe Van Helsingr. For those who are not familiar with him, he was last year's Halloween Destroyer commander for the Japanese. If you do have him, you can plonk him on any of your Japanese destroyers with Bay as inspiration, and Swirsky if you have him, or if not a decently leveled Philip Van or William Sims. Slap on Subsurface Venture, Fragile Threat, Twist and Track, Destroy and be destroyed, and give me speed and become the bane of battleships. You absolutely must pay attention to your Twist and Trap indicator however, and make sure you have an escape plan because you will not survive gunfights. Your job will solely be spot, cap and send unsolicited sea dildos with malicious intent at your enemies. Don't have Helsingr? Then the rest of the T4 destroyers kinda suck for ranked. So I'll leave that one for you to make your decision of whatever is going to be your most comfortable ship. I did kind of type this one was a cheat. But anyway, on to the cruisers, and we have 4 ships crammed into 3 slots, because why not? 2 of them are basically the same bloody ship anyway, so what difference does it make? First up, one of my personal favourite cruisers in the whole game, Emil Bertin. With a full mobility and speed build, Emil laughs at those puny destroyers being able to zip past 42 knots with relative ease, and even surpass 46 knots at the highest levels. 3 triple 152mm guns, albeit with a fairly poor reload it has to be said, give her sufficient firepower with some decent torps to boot. Got a sort of hybrid mobility fire starter build also works. The critical thing with this ship though is her speed, her gun accuracy and the ability to expunge the threat of destroyers while being immobile and annoying enough to douse battleships with liberal amounts of HE. For maximum memes, Rue with Mueller and Fraser with ingenious full speed ahead, ferocious, steer clear and fully packed. For a blend of firepower and speed, Lemonier with Mueller and Rue, and skills being Burn It Down, Igniter, Velocious, Steer Clear and Refill Station. Second choice would be the Omaha sisters, which would consist of Marblehead and, well, Omaha. These 2 ships can be played as some outstanding destroyer hunters if you happen to have Einstein, but Norman Scott equally makes for an annoying commander for enemies to deal with. You want to make use of your plentiful armor of 152mm guns, even if they are primarily casemate mounted. Load up that HE and hurl freedom shells and lay waste to any spotted targets. Don't just camp or match though. If your battleships make a push, then you'll need to act as a screen against any remaining enemy destroyers. This is your job. Just be careful though, because as with all cruisers at this tier, you have wet tissue paper for armour. Furutaka will rip straight through your bow if you try and tank with AP shells, and battleships will just tear you a new one anyway regardless of what shells they're using. Best commander, for my money, well it's Scott frankly. And your choice of inspirations except for Kuznetsov because the floated shells and all that. These 2 are pretty flexible, so skills, Burn It Down, Igniter, and the Ready, Fixated and Refill Station. The third spot here was a toss up between Königsberg, Kirov and Furutaka, but the sake sipping, explosive loving, big gun sumo wrestler won out. Okay, sumo's a bit far fetched there, as she's just a T4 cruiser, but hey, at least I'm not saying it sounds like a sandwich. Furutaka takes the 3rd spot for the very reason why Omaha and Marblehead and pretty much any cruiser at this team needs to be careful. AP from her 8-inch guns hurt a lot, and while you do have a slowish firing rate and only 6 of them, you have the highest hit points of any T4 cruiser. They have the highest HE alpha damage, highest AP alpha damage and the highest fire chance, and you also have some nasty 10 km torpedoes as well. Use islands and cover to your advantage and know your timings. Being able to switch the shells at the right time and launch torpedo strikes at the correct moment are the key to success in this ship. This does come at the cost of having chunky thick citadels, so be careful not to flash your flanks too much as even destroyer AP can slap you pretty hard. The commander you want, as for with most cruisers, depends a lot on your preferred playstyle. Some prefer mobility, others prefer offense. For me, I would use Azure Lane Atago and primarily use HE, except when you need to use AP. For your inspirations, Kuznetsov and Rue, with your skills being Ingenious, Arsonist, Sponge, Fixated and Refill Station. Don't have Azure Lane Atago? Then Yamamoto makes a fine substitute. Just switch out Ingenious for Burn It Down XXL, Arsonist for Igniter, and then Sponge for Punch Through. And that's it. I'm not looking forward to the anxiety and rage of the next ranked season, but I will get to rank 1 even if it kills me, or I fail my way up the ladder. I just hope that the window lickers stick to AI this time around. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a big thumbs up and slap that subscribe button as it helps the channel out greatly. Take care. Bye for now, and I'll catch you next time.